It's absolutely freezing outside right now, but to my seedlings, it's 67 degrees and sunny. Today, I wanted to tell you guys about my seed starting setup and show you the progress of my 2023 seedlings thus far. The structure I use to house all my seedlings is this VivoSun grow tent, and I wouldn't say having one of these is absolutely necessary, but mine are outdoors, and as I was filming this, there was a literal blizzard happening outside. I also prefer to have this grow tent because it contains all the light beams of the grow lights so they don't shine through my living room window as it gets darker outside. I used to have an uncovered aquaponics setup in my kitchen and found the purple lights to be quite obnoxious. I'm not sure if this is a downside, but the tent can get quite humid and become basically a rainforest, so I have set up a mini dehumidifier near my outlets to try to offset the insane humidity levels. All of my seedlings sit on top of these heat mats that I got off Amazon and are connected to a temperature controller so they don't become too hot. Each temperature controller has a probe which allows me to stick it directly into the soil and get a really accurate reading. For lighting, I've installed four 4-foot 20-watt LED grow lights for each shelf. I found these on Amazon, and although the wattage is probably overkill, my seedlings do seem to be very happy overall. I also have 3 of these purple lights, but recently stopped using them because I believe the seedlings are getting plenty of light with the other ones. And just so you know, before I get into what I'm growing, this is the seed starting mix I use, and this is the fertilizer I use. This is just some basic cilantro that I received from another gardener who collected their own seeds. I don't understand why it's flopped over at the base like this. You'd almost think it has something to do with the light and making them too leggy, but like I said before, I think I have plenty of light, so if you happen to know why they look like this, I'd be curious to know too. Next up are my Mary Washington asparagus. They seem to be doing really good, but this is the first year I've grown them. They had 100% germination, and although it'll take a couple years to really enjoy eating my own homegrown asparagus, I'm enjoying the fact that they're growing so rapidly, and I look forward to putting them outside soon. Next is my Sun King hybrid broccoli. As I mentioned before, I think my light wattage is pretty excessive, and I believe that that may be causing my broccoli leaves to be turning purple. Once I saw this, I turned off those purple lights shown previously, and I know they really need to be potted up into something like this. I would do this for all of them, but I just currently don't have the space, and I want to wait for that warmer weather as I harden them off to put them outside. But if you have any tips or recommendations for growing this broccoli, I'd love to know. Behind the broccoli, I sowed some larkspur just 9 days ago, and it's still a little bit too early to see any germination, but definitely stay tuned for that. All right, next up is my Corelli Lisianthus, and I know this sounds pretty dramatic, but I think I gasped when I saw this photo on Johnny Seed's website. It sparked a new interest in Lisianthus for me, and I'm really hoping to see it flower this year. I've seen everywhere that it can be pretty difficult to start from seed, and I really had no idea if I'd be able to get it germinated, but now that I have no idea if I can get it to flower. So I'm in the process of removing all the algae growth from all of my trays, but especially the Lisianthus, because I read somewhere that algae can take nitrogen from the soil, and I really don't want to rob that from the Lisianthus. I think they have shallow roots, so I figured better to be safe than sorry and just go ahead and remove it anyway. All right, next up is my Munstead lavender. I know this might not look like much, but I'm quite proud to have this little seedling because a lot of effort has been put into getting germination. I put the seeds onto a wet paper towel, then put them in the fridge and left them there for 1 month. I did have one germinate while it was in the fridge, but then accidentally broke it while trying to remove it from the paper towel. I then put them into a seed tray, and it took 12 days for this little guy to pop up. While still editing this video, I was checking on my seedlings and noticed 2 more seeds germinating, so yay! Next is my Shabu Carnations. This is the first time I've grown this flower, and they seem to be looking pretty good so far. I have thinned the ones that are kind of leaning against the ground at the base after I recorded this, but I am intrigued by this one that has a lot more white in its leaves. Okay, so I did think it was dying, but then I left it to see what would happen, and look, it's actually still growing more of these white leaves. So do I have a cool genetic variant? I have no idea, but we're just gonna let it grow and see what happens. Next are my Cherokee Sunset Black-Eyed Susans. I am so excited for these. I absolutely love Black-Eyed Susans, and this color is just so beautiful. I saw on Botanical Interest website that the reviews for this seed during 2022 were pretty bad, and it all had to do with germination. People were saying that they had 0 germinate. You get 20 seeds in a packet, and I personally had 11 germinate, which is 55%. Of course, it could have been a lot better, but I'm really happy to have what I got. My next seed tray has Italian and Greek oregano. I did half and half in the seed tray, and as you can tell, I kind of overseeded. The seeds are really small, so it was easy to just sprinkle them across the top. I've never grown these before, so I'm really looking forward to being able to enjoy my own homegrown oregano. And then next we just have some lettuce. This came from a gourmet lettuce blend, and I have grown this before, and gosh, there just is nothing that beats homegrown lettuce. The stuff from the store just tastes like it doesn't have any flavor in comparison to these little guys. I'm really looking forward to just keeping these growing all season long. And next is some tall Utah celery. I've never grown celery before, and so far so good. I love that you can tell it's celery based off of the little leaves that look exactly like the leaves on the celery stalk. They're so cute. Okay, so this year I'm growing 3 different types of Snapdragons, but 2 I'm really in love with. The first being Apple Blossom. That is the image that you see on top, and I purchased those from MI Gardener. The second being the Custom Mix, and that I purchased from Johnny's Seeds. Okay, so does anyone else have a tray of random things they just throw together to see how they grow? That's pretty much what this tray is. I do have a variety of some peppers, such as Anaheim, jalapeno, bell, peppercini, but I do also have some random flowers like lobelia and yarrow thrown in there. The interesting thing though about some of the peppers is that they are currently growing from seeds labeled from 2017, so 6 years old, and they're actually still sprouting like no problem. So I thought that was pretty amazing. When I was done sowing peppers, I had a few extra cells to work with, so I threw in some lobelia and then some Colorado yarrow. And these are my hot peppers. As you can see, I have 4 different types, and I've noticed that the leaves are starting to turn yellow a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything is wrong, but I'm really looking forward to making some salsas and cooking with these. I'm especially interested in seeing my Bishop's Crown pepper. This is what they look like, and I don't think I've seen anything like this in person. And it's not like I'm working with a ton of room, but I have put some houseplants under these lights, including this Tradescantia Zebrina. And this is actually all growing from cuttings I took from another one. And as you can see here, I have a variety of lilies that I just randomly potted up. It was kind of an experiment, but I think they're doing really well. And this little guy right here is a random seedling that I found growing in my seed trays. I don't know, I think it looks like a strawberry. What do you guys think? And next I have my artichoke. They're kind of a raggedy looking seedling, so hopefully they look normal. And one thing I have learned is I do not like planting in these biodegradable trays unless you have a tray underneath that can actually hold water. Otherwise, they just dry up way too fast. And next are these beautiful cactus flowered dahlias. If you notice some of the seedlings are extra small, it's because not all germinated on the first round, so I did end up reseeding the empty cells. And here are some wild bergamot. It doesn't look like much right now, and I'm not really sure what else to expect, but these seeds had excellent germination to start with. I found it interesting how the seedlings specifically in this corner are a lot larger than the other ones. Next are my Blackberry Lilies. They get their name due to the way that their seed pods look. Once these little flowers go to seed, this is what they look like. Once I planted these into the cell tray, I put them in the fridge for 1 week as the packet suggested. Once that 1 week was up, I put the tray onto the heat mats, and I saw the first one shoot up 3 weeks later. And here are my Sequoia strawberries. I bought these from Home Depot, and as you can see, it says 10 plants for only $5. And looking back, I'm wondering if I needed to separate them all or if leaving them in a clump like this is okay. I could probably separate them out later, and they might just be fine. I also find it interesting that a set of leaves looks different from the rest. I'm guessing it's just a different type of strawberry that happened to get mixed in. And these are just some green onions that I got from the grocery store. I've kept them in water, but did just fertilize, which is why the water looks like this. They always shoot up a ton of green growth after being fertilized. And last but not least, I have this beautiful peace lily that isn't so beautiful right now, but it'll get there. This is my very first YouTube video that I've ever done, so if you've watched to the end, thank you so much, and I so look forward to getting to know you and your gardens. No. Oh my gosh, why am I so cheesy? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!